All right, you know what I'm saying? So, boom, Brock Lesnar. Let's talk a little bit about Brock Lesnar today. So, the guy just came back at SummerSlam. He just comes back at SummerSlam. F5's John Cena's punk ass right through the canvas. And now, what? Do we have to wait like 2 or 3 months to hear from this guy? Is he ever going to say anything? Do we know? I don't know. Do you know? What's even going to happen? So what? We're going to see Brock Lesnar. We're going to see John Cena one more time. And I just can't help. I'm just scratching my head. I'm just kind of looking around, just thinking to myself, does it not feel like we've been here before? Right? Does it not feel like we've seen this song and dance before? Brock Lesnar comes back just apropos of nothing, comes out F5's John Cena. I don't know, maybe John Cena pissed in his cereal that morning. Like, why? What even is the point? Brock Lesnar and John Cena have had nothing to do with each other for like years. So, what's the point? I don't know. I don't know. But the guy comes back, um, and then I guess he is going to feud with John Cena. I guess they are going to have a match. I guess apparently John Cena only has like, what, 11 more appearances in WWE following SummerSlam. This video is not about John Cena. Another video will be about John Cena. This is about Brock Lesnar. So I know a lot of people are feeling some type of way about Brock being back now after the whole Janelle Grant thing. Um, I'm not really gonna divulge too much on that whole story. I do have to say that I feel like a lot of people are kind of justified in not wanting him back, for reasons that have to do with Janelle Grant and for reasons that just have to do with, I think, a lot of people being sick of Brock Lesnar. I mean, think about it. Brock came back, what, in 2012? He came back in 2012 the exact same way he came back at SummerSlam. He just comes out, F5's John Cena, and now I guess we're going to see where it goes, right? But the difference between then and now is, we hadn't seen Brock Lesnar for several years in 2012. Now we've seen him pretty consistently, well, I guess other than the past couple years when he's been gone. But this current run of his has been over a decade now. It's been like, what, 12 or 13 years that we've been seeing Brock Lesnar the second time around. His run in the 2010s like completely dwarfs his run that he had back in the early 2000s, which was only a couple years. And I don't know. I've seen a few different opinions here and there. A lot of people, like me personally, it is hard to see Brock and look at Brock without kind of thinking about the whole story just a little bit. Like, it's kind of like, even though I like Brock Lesnar and I'm a fan of Brock Lesnar, I just can't help but feel, I don't know, a little uncomfortable about the whole thing. I'm not gonna lie. It feels a little. It kind of leaves a bad taste in your mouth. You know what I mean? Just kind of seeing the guy. And look, like I said, I'm not gonna get too much into the whole thing. That's not what this video is about. It's more so just about Brock coming back and what it means. And what does this mean exactly? What is there for Brock Lesnar? Like, what is there left for this guy even to do? Doesn't it kind of feel like he's done everything he's gonna do? If he wins the WWE title again, it doesn't really mean anything. If he doesn't win it again, it doesn't take anything away from Brock. At this point, I kind of feel like Brock is what Brock is. He's not going to come back with a new look other than like a beard, or he might have grown his hair out or whatever. But don't expect Brock Lesnar to like debut a new finisher. Don't expect Brock Lesnar to come out and do all these new moves. Don't expect him to change up his look. I mean, he can come back wearing a cowboy hat and a flannel, and that's cool, but it's still just Brock Lesnar. Like, it feels almost as if we're still in 2014 or 2013 or 2015 with him coming back. And as sad as it is to say, I'm still more excited to see Brock Lesnar than I am it's like El Hijo del Vikingo or Gravity or I guess those guys are AEW, but I'd much rather see Brock Lesnar personally than Dragon Lee or than Cruz del Toro. Um, I'd much rather see Brock Lesnar than even Seth Rollins. But at the same time, it is kind of hard to look at Brock and to see him do anything without kind of questioning the company's motives and intentions behind bringing him back in the first place. Like, obviously they want to make money, but I feel like a lot of people do have the right to be pissed off. I'm not going to lie. And we're going to see the same matches. We're going to get the same promos as if he even speaks. The last time I genuinely enjoyed Brock was probably about the time that he was doing the happy-go-lucky Cowboy Brock stuff, but I don't really see what big dream matches there are left to have for a Brock Lesnar. We've kind of seen him face everyone. We don't really need to see Brock versus Cena again. We don't really need to see Brock versus Seth again or Brock versus Roman again. We don't really need to see Brock versus anyone. Like, what big Brock Lesnar match is there left for this guy to have? I guess you can say maybe Brock and Gunther, but Gunther gets beat by people like Jey Uso and Sami Zayn. So you're not exactly you're not exactly a threat to Brock Lesnar. Not exactly someone Brock Lesnar should be afraid of, considering the fact that Gunther he's not. There's going to be a Gunther video coming in the future because I seem to be mentioning him a lot in my videos here as of late. But I just don't really know how to feel about Brock being back. What's the plan here? He comes back. There's hardly a mention of him on SmackDown outside of John Cena saying like one line in reference to Brock Lesnar. Like, dude, he just walked into SummerSlam and whooped your ass. You know, like a week or two earlier, John Cena wouldn't have taken that because a week or two earlier he was a bad guy who had no problem low-blowing people and hitting people in the face with his belt. And now he's ready to take the inferior position of Brock Lesnar. Why? You know, I don't get this whole. See, I'm not gonna go diving into other things, other videos to come. But as far as Brock being back, I don't really see what there is to look forward to there. It's obvious WWE doesn't give a fuck about Janelle Grant or her whole situation. Because if they were really sensitive to the topic, if they were really sensitive to the whole case, then I don't think Brock would be anywhere near the company. I'm not gonna lie, I popped when I saw Brock. I popped when I saw him, but that's what WWE wants you to do. They give you these little like soundbite moments. They give you these little like replay moments, these viral moments as they call them. And to be honest, I don't even really see all that much buzz around Brock being back. I mean, I'm sure it's gonna do decent views on social media, but what drawing power does Brock Lesnar still have? I mean, it's 2025. He cannot continue at this point in time to still ride the wave of momentum that he had back in the UFC. I mean, dude, that was like what 15 years ago, at least. You know, since Brock has been out of the UFC. At one point, I would say he was a household name, but it's been so long since then. And I enjoyed Brock Lesnar's run as Universal Champion during the 2010s. I know a lot of people didn't like the whole Suplex City thing. He doesn't do anything, blah blah blah. Look, he's Brock Lesnar. When you're at that level, you don't really have to do too much. You go out there, you look badass, you do some suplexes, you spam some finishers, and look, people are gonna eat that shit up, right? Not everyone, but I think most people again would probably rather see Brock Lesnar than see Chad Gable or see Ludwig Kaiser or see the Street Profits or see a lot of these guys. Like as much as we hate to say it, Brock Lesnar, he's one of the few people that keeps things interesting. He keeps the conversation rolling. Like there were a lot of years there from like 2014 to about 2019, 2020. There wasn't a lot to get interested in on Raw besides Brock Lesnar. Even when he was Universal Champion and he was a part-time champion. By the way, Brock Lesnar, part-time champion. People bitch and moan and bitch and moan and bitch some more. Roman Reigns, part-time champion. Oh, he's allowed to because it's a big deal when he shows up. Well, guess what? It's an even bigger deal when Brock Lesnar shows up because, more people know who he is. But the thing is even when Brock was champion and he was absent, things were still somewhat interesting because it's like, hey, who's going to be the one to beat Brock Lesnar? You know what I mean? It's kind of the same thing with Roman Reigns. Even when he was champion and he wasn't around, the conversation was still always surrounding him. Cody, he's champion and he's around most of the time, and yet nobody still gives a fuck. So, I'm kind of teetering on this being a good decision, being a bad decision. I can't say I'm upset to see Brock, but at the same time, I can't say that I'm thrilled to see Brock. And I don't really know, like, who's going to be his opponent at WrestleMania. How long is this going to last for? I just don't know. I just don't know what can really come of this. There's no good matches. There's no good stories. I mean, you tie him up with Paul Heyman again. It's like, again, we've seen this song and dance before. Do we really have to go back there again? Do we really have to go back to the well again? That just goes to show the inability of this company to make stars. The fact that we still have to lean on people like Brock Lesnar, who the fucker's almost 50 now. I like Brock Lesnar, but he's almost 50. I mean, you can only be so bad. I mean, Brock Lesnar, don't get me, even when he's in his 70s, he'll be one of the baddest 70-year-olds you probably don't want to mess with. But at the same time, I mean, when he came back, he looked red in the face. He looked a little bloated. I mean, I don't know. It's going to get to the point that we start seeing old man Brock, and it's not going to be as convincing as it was 10 years ago when he was running through the roster. And to be honest, like many things that the company does these days, I'm pretty indifferent. I have to kind of wait and see what happens. I suppose again, Brock versus Cody, we've seen it. The only match they could probably do that would get me excited is maybe Brock versus The Rock. But I'm kind of burnt out on The Rock too. That'll be another video to come in the future as well. So be on the lookout for that. I'm gonna go ahead and piece the fuck up out of here, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.